All right, everybody, welcome to our brand new Tuxedo T-Shirt Madden 25 series. Very excited for you guys to join me, and I'm very excited to get this one going. As advertised, boom, connected franchise coming your way. We're quickly going to blitz through setting this one up, and as you guys might know, having watched my last couple series, for those of you who haven't, feel free to check them out. For those of you who have and are Tuxedo T-Shirt channel veterans, welcome back. As you may know, those of you who watched my last series saw the channel announcements there. This series will be using a custom roster to do a player mode connected franchise, something I have yet to do to play a Johnny Manziel series here on the YouTubes with Johnny Football taking center stage. Johnny Manziel, the 22nd pick overall in the 2014 NFL Draft. These are a series of rosters that were put together, team rosters that were put together by a Maddener very much like myself, who put them up online for free usage. I looked through them. I like them. They're not totally accurate. Part of that is also, if you take a look, Johnny Manziel there on the last screen was actually listed as being 6'1", which he's not, though in press releases and such, I imagine they do up his height a little bit just, to do that, because that's what people do, which is fine. Players do it all the time, taking weight up, taking weight down, taking height up, taking height down. But we're going to use that set of rosters to actually play the 2013 season and onward with the 2014 rosters, which I think is super exciting. Full disclosure, I've never done a player, I don't just mean on YouTube, I mean ever in my life. I've never done a player-connected franchise, so I'm super interested to take it on. I imagine there's going to be a lot of extra challenges. A lot of my success personally in playing the game has to do with throwing passes through routes that I take control of, and it's going to be challenging, I think, to let my teammates kind of do their own thing and to not immediately jump in. But just before we get started with the practice and the preseason game, let's take a quick look at the rosters. Obviously, Cleveland Browns, not world burners here, folks. I don't think that's a shock for anybody. But Johnny Manziel, despite being just 75 overall at the moment, currently the starting quarterback above Brian Hoyer. Whether that's the case in real life or not, I'm not sure. But certainly it's the case for us. Johnny Manziel, 90 throwing power, very nice. Short accuracy, 89, very nice. Medium accuracy, deep accuracy, 80 and 81. Also pretty decent to start off as a rookie. That number has to go up. But all three of those numbers I'm very happy with as far as the accuracy is concerned. Throwing on the run, 87, not bad. Play action, 83, not bad. This is where things start to kind of unravel for Johnny Football. 50 awareness is really holding him back. His arm really has the makings of a quarterback whose overall rating would be in the high 80s, currently sitting at 75 because of that awareness rating. Speed, strength is relatively low, but the speed is excellent at 85. Agility of 90, acceleration of 91 speaks to his athleticism. Fortunately, his carrying is excellent, so in case we're running with him and he gets popped, fortunately not a huge chance of the fumble coming out, though we are going to do everything in our power to avoid that from happening. We want him at no matter what to be someone who's not going to take a lot of shots. Now let's take a look at the supporting cast around him. Ben Tate, the starting quarterback. Dion Lewis, the backup. Ben Tate, those of you who are Houston Texans fans will remember him there, backing up Arian Foster for the past 4 seasons. Fozzie Whitaker. I imagine these last couple guys are just training camp fodder. But with that being said, they still, because our rosters are full, I believe we have the 75-man rosters, preseason rosters going on. So a huge amount of cuts that have to take place. Chris Ogbania will be the starting fullback over Chris Presley, I imagine. And here's the most important position for us altogether. The wide receiver spot. Josh Gordon, obviously dominant, led the league in receiving yardage last year despite, and I mean in real life, in the actual NFL, not our Madden NFL world, led the league despite missing 2 games with injury. Nate Burleson comes over as a veteran free agent signing from the Detroit Lions. Andrew Hawkins comes over as an offer sheet player from our division foes, the Cincinnati Bengals. Hawkins got his start originally in Canada, playing for the Montreal Alouettes. Travis Benjamin I believe was originally drafted by the Browns. I honestly have not looked up his story, but I hesitate to until the rosters kind of settle themselves, because there's a few cats down here who likely won't make the team. For instance, Greg Little, who I know was originally drafted by the Cleveland Browns. Actually, has had a couple 1,000-yard receiving seasons. Was actually cut in real life by the Browns just a couple weeks ago. First, let's take a look at the physicals of these guys before we take a look at their actual skills. As you can see, a lot of speed on the team. Josh Gordon, great combination of size and speed. Nate Burleson, same thing. For a guy who's in his 30s now, still has the physical tools to get it done. Andrew Hawkins, obviously a very diminutive player, 5'7", 175, but he's got all the speed in the world. His agility, acceleration off the charts, speed, very nice. His strength isn't there, but he could have some success for us in the slot, I think. Travis Benjamin, meanwhile, absolutely stellar speed, phenomenal physicals there. No strength to speak of, but that doesn't matter when you can run like Deshaun Jackson. Greg Little, boom. Charles Johnson, boom. And Josh Cooper, obviously, likely training camp fodder. Now let's take a look at their skills. Actual catching ability, route running ability, catching and traffic ability. Josh Gordon is elite. After that, Nate Burleson really struggles getting down and dirty inside, but can succeed in the traditional wide receiver routes. Andrew Hawkins doesn't have the best set of hands, which is sketchy for a slot back. Travis Benjamin, same thing. His route running particularly sad, considering he's got a couple years under his belt. And the same is basically said for the remaining three players. Josh Cooper, again, man, if you don't have your physicals up, you got to be a stellar route runner. He's just not. Our best jumper on the team currently, Greg Little, which is important for late game situations if we ever need to throw the long bomb Hail Mary. Tight end Jordan Cameron. Fortunately, we got this cat. Cameron, I think, will probably be our most important target all season. He has a great combination of size and speed, 6'5", 245, 84 speed, 88 acceleration, 88 agility, which is wonderful. He's got a good set of hands. He's going to be, I think, the most important player in this offense for us. Marquise Gray, Andre Smith, Gary Barnidge, and Jim Dre, the four backups. Again, I imagine at least two of those guys getting cut. Fortunately for us, this is a huge another help that we have to assist us on our way to inevitably going to the Hall of Fame. Joe Thomas, one of the greatest left tackles to ever play the game, going to be covering our blind side. Interior offensive line, a little more sketchy. Alex Mack is a great center, a guy who just re-upped for huge money this offseason, but we really lack any talent whatsoever at the guard position, while Mitchell Schwartz, decent right tackle. I'll quickly just flip through the defense. This is a side of the team that we will literally never see, just given the nature of the way in which the player mode works. For those of you who may not be familiar with it, what's going to happen is we're going to complete our offensive series for as long as Johnny Manziel is on the field, and as soon as he's done, the field flips, it goes in. It looks the exact same as Super Sim. So if you guys know what Super Sim looks like, what you're doing is you're in the game setting and you're just flipping through the plays. And you see the result of what the defense does, but you don't even get the opportunity to see exactly what it looks like on the field. So with nothing further ado, let's go ahead. Let's actually give this one a shot. Johnny Manziel about to make his pro football practice debut just ahead of his first ever preseason game. Now, for those of you who may not be psyched about practices and preseason games, I personally like to record them because, first of all, I have to play them anyways, and second of all, especially for this first season, I think it's important to get 4 games, 4 practices under our belt before the regular season, just to get the feel for Johnny Football, the feel for this offense together. Also, these preseason games are going to be very short because Johnny Manziel is the starting quarterback, which means he's only going to get the first quarter to work with. So, first 4 episodes of this series will be very short. However, if in future years you guys say screw it, we don't want to see the preseason games, that is just fine. So just let me know in the comments. I always love hearing from people when I do series. I mean, heck, you guys are the reason that I do these things. So let me know. There, Jordan Cameron cannot take it upfield. Man, that drives me crazy. Just a Madden thing that's always been the case. Just guys who run it, it's like, oh, well, it takes me 3 steps to turn the ball upfield. And unfortunately, that's one of the things I was talking about earlier when I'm saying that's a route that I normally could have potentially taken over and gotten the first down for. Here, Johnny Manziel stands in, takes the hit. 4th and 9 upcoming. And because this is practice, this is our first one, we may as well go for it, because that's the type of player Johnny Manziel is. I'm not the type of person who goes for it all the time in game, so please don't panic. Oh, God, you're one of these guys. No, but in practice, first one, I got to go for it. And there, Andrew Hawkins wide open, and there's the first down. Perfect pass over the middle, beating the zone coverage. Andrew Hawkins finding the soft spot of the zone. I believe Johnny Manziel took a shot there, but he gets clock still ticking. Here we go. We're now down to the 42-yard line on our side of half. Clock running, 4:18 left. Manziel sits back, and he's going to dump it down the middle. There's Ogbania, the fullback, 8-yard reception on first down. That is wonderful. That means that on second down, we're going to look to run the ball in the I formation. And this is, I think, the thing that's going to be most difficult for me personally in this series is not being able to carry the football. For those of you guys who are familiar with my series, the past two I've done, you know how much I love to run the football. You know how much I love to try and take over a game with my running back. And it brings me great pain to not be able to control their routes. But at the same time, I understand why this is necessary, and it adds an extra challenge, which is a lot of fun. Here, Josh Gordon makes the quick out reception, 5 yards for him. It's going to be very important for us to get Josh Gordon involved in these games. He is our most talented player by far, aside from Jordan Cameron, who, again, I think is going to be the most dangerous player for us on this offense. Here we're looking at the flat again. Gordon covered. Manziel flushed. Can he get a block? He doesn't get a block, and he's going to have to throw it away. That was Ogbania, number 44, looking to pick up the extra pass rusher. Initially had the block. Manziel makes a move, and Ogbania just lost him. And so we're going to go this play, Curl FL, I believe it was called. I like Tate escaping. Cameron, I think, could potentially come open if this safety is, in fact, blitzing. Safety drops off. Cameron still makes the catch over the middle. Boom. 13 yards for Cameron on the day. That was a 12-yard reception, gets us down to the 31-yard line of this practice squad. And so for me, this has mostly now become about running the clock down. Manziel has moved the ball efficiently, threw the ball away when he was bound to take a sack or potentially throw a pick, which is solid. Something that the young receiver may not have done the young quarterback may not have done on his own, but did certainly with us guiding him, which is good. And there, Nate Burleson makes a catch over the middle on the quick slant play, another 15 yards. And so from here on out, with two individual first downs being possible, the game plan is basically going to be to just slow play this one, see if we can get the clock down all the way to zeros before kicking the practice winning field goal. This practice team is very tough. If we can beat this practice team, and wow, Ben Tate flops like a fish on that play, 3 yards off the right-hand side. I do think that it would be in our best interest, generally speaking, to run the ball on our left side, Joe Thomas being who he is, such a god at that left tackle spot. However, depending on what the defense is throwing us, we can always change that up. Jordan Cameron, also a surprisingly decent blocker for a guy who is predominantly a pass-catching tight end, so that leaves us with extra options. So here we go. We got the play clock running down. We can get it down about another 6 seconds before we snap the football. We're going to snap it with 1 second. So, boom, here we go. We would just watch Ben Tate do his thing, and there, not a decent run. Backed it up to the right-hand side, 4 yards. And the first timeout for the practice team comes up, which means that we are going to have to put the ball in the air or at least do something to get us a first down. Here we're going play action. I love this route to Cameron because we're going to get to run the naked bootleg with Manziel after the play action. He rolls right. Cameron is open. Hopefully he's tackled, and he is. That is perfect execution, and we have just won the first practice of this series. We're going to kneel this one here. Manziel enjoying this victory over the practice team. And these victories over the practice team are super important for us because we need desperately to develop this squad, particularly Johnny Manziel. And winning these practices, for those of you who may not be familiar with these practices, winning a practice gets you 2,000 points. Losing a practice gets you 1,000 points, and that can make a really big difference over an entire season. If you're going 2,000 every week as opposed to 1,000, it's not even a question. It's amazing the difference that it makes. So here we go, 3rd and goal. We take a knee. The play clock now longer than the game clock, and we'll simply be able to kick the field goal. Here we go. We send out Billy Cundiff, who embarrassingly is the Cleveland Browns kicker, and hopefully he'll know best to kick this one, and he kicks it immediately. That's an interesting decision. I did not have any say in that, so he just put it up with 6 seconds left. And as you can see here, we can just go next play, and you can see there's a kickoff, 72-yard kick by Billy Cundiff for a touchback. Following play, game over, as the practice team quarterback has his pass dropped by the wide receiver. So that is a screen we will become ever familiar with our defense taking over games once Johnny Manziel is off the field with the offense. And that is something that we're going to see a lot of in this upcoming preseason game that we're going to immediately launch into right here. Johnny Manziel likely just playing the first quarter, as the game is, of course, a preseason game. And that is the way that Madden does it. So, for those of you, while we have the load screen up, for those of you who are familiar with the Tuxedo T-Shirt YouTube channel, welcome back. Leave me a comment in the section below saying hi, saying how pumped you are for the new series, or if you're not pumped for the new series, that's cool too. And then if you are somebody who's new to the series or new to this channel, please, by all means, leave me a comment as well. I'm very excited to hear from people. I don't get a ton of views on YouTube. This is not something that I do as an income. It is not something that I do really for any other reason than I enjoy it. So I always love hearing feedback, and even the negative feedback. You know, I revel in the negative feedback because sometimes I say, wow, this person's full of junk. And then sometimes I say, you know what, this person's actually got a really good point. Why the hell don't I do what they're suggesting, even if they suggest it in a rude way? So I love the feedback. I love the interaction. That's what makes this fun for me, is when I upload a video, then 2 hours later I come back and boom, I got 14 comments to read through from people, positive or negative. It's always great to interact, so let me know. Also, feel free to check out the 2 previous series I've done on this channel that I've just very briefly mentioned here. The first of which was a Buffalo Bills Connected Franchise Fantasy Draft series that saw us take over the now-deceased Ralph Wilson, which, by the way, that series has partly become infinitely popular because in the first episode of the series, or at least the first few episodes of the series, I express my concern that Ralph Wilson, the owner of the Buffalo Bills, could actually die because he was 95 at the time that we took over the series, and he subsequently actually died, which is too bad. So here we go, defensively. So just to finish that thought, check out the series if you like. The second series, we just finished the Jacksonville Jaguars rebuilding series that saw us simply work on the rosters, not working at all on the gameplay, trying to build the best team we possibly could. The challenge was to win a Super Bowl in the first 5 seasons of having the team. Now, without further ado, on to the game. This is the very exciting way that we watch opposing teams work against our defense. Sam Bradford quick for 9 yards. On 2nd and 1, Zach Stacy gets a 5-yard rush for the first down. So far, Rams offense is taking it to our poor Cleveland Browns defense. As you can see, the blue on the screen is running plays. The yellow is the passing plays. The situation is up on the top right-hand part of the screen. So on 3rd and 7, Sam Bradford throws the pass away. So, hey, at the 40-yard line, Rams drive finally stalls out. They punt, and we got it back at our 47. Wow, that must have been a hell of a return. Hey, we're not complaining. So, at home, in front of our very passionate hometown Cleveland Browns fans, Johnny Manziel takes the field. And just to ease into this, we'll give the ball off to Ben Tate on our first play. Robert Quinn, former first-round pick of the St. Louis Rams, very dominant defensive end, makes the tackle. But a nice play by there, Tate getting into the open space as best as he could. And here we go, Johnny Manziel's first pass in the NFL, or at least his first opportunity to pass. No guarantee this is a pass. Showing pressure on the right-hand side. The blitz comes. Manziel flushed. He's going to take off. He's got Cameron there for the block. No dice. Cameron does not pick up his man. However, I believe that was Aaron Donald. I believe he was the 13th overall pick of this past draft. Selected 9 spots ahead of Johnny Manziel. A bit of an undersized defensive tackle, but all people talked about come draft week was how amazingly the guy could play in terms of his physicals. They are chasing down Manziel from behind, but not before he gets a 9-yard gain, his first professional carry. Here he looks to Cameron, and boom, 11 yards off the right-hand side on that quick out. Manziel, very successful first couple plays, gets the butterflies out of the stomach, so to speak, with the quick run play to start things off. Since then, takes off once, a solid pass. Here he's going to the air again. Gray, the backup tight end, and he's got another first down. We're going to be making a lot of use of our tight ends in this series because of partly due to the fact that it's just a nice comfort factor for a rookie quarterback, but then also partly just because, not being able to control wide receiver routes is a bit scary for me. Just a little bit. And here, Josh Gordon open in the end zone on the double move. Manziel unable to get him the football. Did not have his feet set. And a bit of an ugly pass there. But that's not to be unexpected. That was a very, very difficult pass. And Manziel, again, we didn't have time. Too much pressure coming for him to really get his feet set properly. Josh Gordon coming on the inside now. He makes a nice catch on the quick slant route. Manziel, 3 of 4 for 26 yards. 3rd and 6. We already have our squad easily in position for a field goal. So the last thing we want to do here is turn the ball over potentially. We're going to send both of our running backs out on this play, just trying to get as many options as possible. Again, if we're under pressure, looking to take a sack, or potentially throwing a pick, we're going to throw this ball away. Without further ado, here we go. Manziel, he's going to take off, and he does get the first down. Manziel around the corner for about a 6-yard gain, and there he goes. The dog pound going crazy for their new kid. When was the last time Cleveland had a huge celebrity as one of their players? And there he's running, and as you can see, Aaron Donald, the rookie, giving chase there. This time, Manziel beats him around, and that's that. Also, you can see Rod Chudzinski, still the head coach of this Cleveland Browns team. He was obviously fired in real life, which didn't make any sense because he was only with the team for 1 year, and he deserved another chance. And there we go. Touchdown, Manziel to Cameron, something I hope we see a lot of in this series, and something I think we will see a lot of in this series. Great pass, very easy route, and we're going to go ahead and get a nice little screenshot here of Johnny Manziel looking to throw, and that will serve as our first thumbnail for our episode number 1. As you can see here, defense takes back over. 71-yard kick by Cundiff goes for a touchback. Sam Bradford sacked for a 5-yard loss. Bradford to Pettis for 9 yards, and then for 13 yards on 3rd and 6. Zach Stacy runs for 2 yards on first down. 2nd down, Bradford to Cook for 1 yard. 3rd and 7, Bradford sacked again, and so the punt comes down, and Manziel will get back into the game, even if it is just for a moment. And you know what? Because we can, let's go ahead and let's throw this ball up. We only have 17 seconds left with the man. Let's see if Josh Gordon comes open on this play. Josh Gordon one-on-one. Manziel with the flick of his wrist sends it up. Gordon, oh, he had it. Oh, no. Josh Gordon, ball knocked away at the last possible second. Ouch. He brought it down in his hands, just couldn't hold on. But that's okay. We're going to keep throwing the ball up here because Manziel's only got 11 seconds left to work with. Gordon, showing off there, though, just the extent to which he can be a deep threat for this team. Now just quickly dumping it off there to Benjamin. Manziel, that takes 4 seconds off the clock. 3rd and 3. We'll be going back to the gun here. And no, that's the end of the first quarter. For some reason, Benjamin got out of bounds. And for whatever reason, the clock did not stop. which it should have. But that's okay. That's beside the point. So we're going to go ahead, go sim to player turn. That, of course, will not come up because Manziel's day is done. But we'll get to see how this game unfolds. Wow. Browns up 14-10 midway through the third. 21-0 now at this point. Pardon me, I think I said 10 earlier. It's, of course, 0 for the St. Louis Rams, though I trust everyone watching this video can read it. There we go. We can exit this simulation. 21-0, the final score. The Cleveland Browns, though this is, of course, a meaningless game, kick off this series with a big win at home over a very formidable Rams team, a very nice group of talented players they got there over in St. Louis, and Cleveland dominates. Brian Hoyer into the game for the second through fourth quarters. Manziel, solid game, 71% completions, 39 yards. Not a lot of yardage, but he threw a touchdown, no picks. Hoyer, meanwhile, a decent day for him, 10 of 19, 108, one touchdown, no picks. Decent game for the backup. Dion Lewis, holy smokes, 19 carries, 124 yards, one touchdown for him. The cat out of Pittsburgh. Wow, stellar game for him as the backup running back. Nice to know that we got other guys on the team who can be offensive weapons. Darrell Richardson, not a great game for him. 11 carries, 41 yards, and not a lot of yardage. Wow, Zach Stacy held to just 14 yards off 5 carries. Manziel, 16 yards off two carries. Both times he took off. Receiving-wise, Travis Benjamin, the leading receiver in this one, he had a touchdown in addition to 33 yards. And aside from that, pretty evenly spaced as far as yardage is concerned. Not a lot of dominant performances. Quentin Groves, 8 tackles. Jolon Dunbar, 12 tackles, leading their respective teams in this one. And holy smokes, Groves had 2 sacks in this one. Eugene Sims for the Rams, 3. That's ridiculous. But Kirksey, Hughes, Mingo, Sheard, and Dansby all have 1 for the Browns. That adds up to a solid total, 7 sacks for this one for the Browns. Cundiff did not attempt a field goal today. Punting, there you go. Greg the Leg, ouch. A guy from our Buffalo Bills series, Greg the Leg, goes 0 for 2 today. That's a rough start for his preseason. But that's it, folks. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 1 of this series. This series will run Monday to Friday. New videos every day of the week for those days. So if it's a business day, we got an episode Monday to Friday each and every day. We'll see you tomorrow for episode number 2. Thank you so much for joining me, and please don't hesitate to leave your feedback in the comment section below. It's always very much appreciated. And until tomorrow, thank you again so much. I am Tuxedo T-Shirt, and I'm out.